Hello everyone, this is Grace. It is still September the 2nd, 2019, and we are continuing our study on the book of Daniel, verses 9:24 through 27. And when we left off, we were in Revelation 17, and I was explaining to you what a beast is in the Bible. So he carried me away in the spirit of the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. So this beast is its people. It tells you later on in the book. The waters which thou sawest, which the whore sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. Well, she's sitting upon the beast, and so she's sitting upon the beast, but they're peoples, nations, and tongues, and different languages and stuff like that. So you have a group of people who are united together for one mindset. That can be a country, it can be a church, it can be whatever, but they're all united. In this particular case, they're united under this one church. So this one church has control over all of these countries and these people. All right, so that's the definition of a beast. So when we come here to Revelation 13, okay, I should have just selected 13. Okay, let's go ahead and read. And I stood upon the sands of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And there was one thing I should have mentioned, I guess, about the whore, was that it was an apostate church. I think she's called a harlot. She has all of the colors of royalty, but she doesn't have blue, which symbolizes the law of God. That's what it symbolizes. The 10 Commandments was written on a blue stone, a sapphire stone, and the what is it called? The tassels that they wear on their shirts, those are blue to remind them of the law of Yahweh. But so it's an apostate church, but that doesn't matter. But I did want to mention it. We'll start over. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon its horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth is the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now it's just describing the same 3 kingdoms that we saw in Daniel 7, because all of these are united under this one man. Now, don't get it confused, because when you get down to the end of Daniel 13, it tells you that this beast is a man. Here is the wisdom: let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. You don't want to get confused by thinking that this is some evil dictator ruling over the people. It's not. You're going to see that through the context of this chapter. This is a pope-like figure. He still heads a church. They're still ruling under the dictates of religion. Only the religion is kind of like the Roman Catholic Church. That's why everybody thinks it's the Roman Church. But the Roman Church, well, I'm not going to go into that. But it rules like the Roman Church, and this is a pope-like figure that's going to be ruling over everyone. Okay? So don't get to thinking because it's a man, it's a dictator. No, this whole thing is grounded in religion. This is a religious leader. And they're going to talk about worship all through this chapter, so you'll see that. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Well, the deadly wound that was healed was Christianity, because we are the ones that keep getting beaten down, and they keep trying to smite us out, but you can't hide the truth. You just can't. There would be no reason for us to be here if there weren't believers here. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is likened to the beast, who is able to make war with him. Oh, by the way, the wounded to death. Now I don't want to go into too many details. We'll just leave it at what I said already. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is likened to the beast, who is able to make war with him? Well, we already spoke about them worshiping the dragon. That's the false Christ. And they worshiped the beast. He gave the power to the man. He said, hey, this man is my advocate. Worship him. Okay, well, most of the world's waiting on a Messiah, so that's what they did. They worshiped this man. And he has all of these kingdoms backing him up. So who's able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. We've already read over that in Daniel 7. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain for the foundation of the world. If you are a subscriber, then you know that I have struggled with earth, but I do have a proper interpretation for earth now. It's the people of God that know the truth, whether they are apostate or whether they are true followers of Yahweh. They know the truth, and so therefore they can be judged by that knowledge. There's a scripture somewhere. It says, because you of all people knew the truth, that's why I'm judging you. Because it takes two. Can two people walk if they don't have a covenant or something like that? I can't remember exactly. But it tells us that we can be judged because we know the truth. And he doesn't expect the heathen to follow the dictates of his law because they don't know it. He has no agreement with them. Okay? So the earth are people that know it, whether they have rejected it or whether they have accepted it. They can be judged by that law. Okay. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And he that killeth with this word must be killed with this word. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. It's just telling you that this is a time of judgment. And I beheld another beast coming up, and which is important because during the time of judgment, bad things are happening. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. I don't know if I need to go through all of this, but he had two horns as a lamb. It's the church. And he gave the presence of worshiping Yahweh and the Lamb. When you speak as a dragon, then your laws and your actions and your rules of your church. So we're going to establish that it's a church here because it has two horns like a lamb. But it doesn't really have to be, but we're saying it is. But when you speak as a dragon, then your laws and your doctrines, all of that is against God. Do you see? So it looks like a lamb. Its doctrines, laws, etc. are those of Satan. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man. We know there's going to be miracles. And deceiveth them that dwell in the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. And the image is going to be the Sunday law. I need to change my other video where I said that the Sunday law came earlier during our time. It doesn't. And just let me correct that here real quick, because I don't know when I'm going to make that correction video. But I did imply that the Sunday law was going to come under the sixth seal. That cannot be true. The sixth seal, we're going to have to come back to this because I want to do this correction. If you look, here. And he cried with a loud voice as when a lion roareth, and when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. This is a test. Millions and millions, probably hundreds of millions of Seventh-day Adventists have been waiting on a Sunday law. There's no way we can be tested on the Sunday law. The last day saints are going to be tested on the Sunday law, not us. Whatever our test is, it's going to come as a surprise because we don't know what it is. That's why this was sealed up. This is our test. So whatever doctrine comes and tries us right before the trumpets and all the apostasies and stuff that's going to come, excuse me, sorry about that, I had a phone call. Right before all of that happens, there has to be something, some new doctrine that is taught to us that we were not expecting, that is going to try us. Okay, that's our fire, where we are put through the the furnace of affliction, and people are going to reject it, and the wicked are going to come for us, and people are going to accept it, and you are going to go through the affliction. But it is a surprise. It's something that is not taught. Now, we may know it now because we're coming close to that time, but it has not brought about the first horse, the false doctrine under the first seal. That's what I'm trying to think of. The first seal, where they have the revival of false doctrine that's going to be out because people are going to be rejecting this truth. Okay? So that's the correction on that. It's not the Sunday law, and I will put out a corrected video because I've got a lot of views on it. I don't think I want to take it down, but there is going to be a test nonetheless, and you just have to brace yourselves to accept the truth. It's not like I rejected the 70 years, because you just have to get ready and be prepared to accept the truth. So back to Revelation 13. Now let's go on. We're going to go to 15. And he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So that's the Sunday law. He's going to give it life. And if you do not worship on Sunday, they're going to enact a law saying you're going to be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads. And your right hand symbolizes your actions, and your forehead symbolizes your thoughts and intents and motives. So if you receive a mark in your mind, that means you're sealed in your mind for God. If you receive a mark in your right hand, well, in this particular case, your mind is for Satan, okay, because you're against God. And your right hand, your actions, you may not believe him, but your actions dictate your character here. So if you're sealed in your right hands, you may think, oh, this is all just stupid, but I'm just going to go along to get along, and you work against God and you're working for Satan. Okay? And that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. I forgot to point out in here where we identified him as the last. Well, you know what? I don't remember where it is now because I did not mark it. These are both speaking cause. let's not just look at, we'll just look at Revelation 17 because we can see it here. Because I don't remember, I did actually look it up beforehand, but I don't remember what verse I wanted to point out anymore. And since I know this, I memorized this pretty much. It's easier just to point out here. So there's 7 kings, 5 are fallen, we know 5 are gone, and 1 is. So the one that is the one that we're talking about here now, right? And the other one is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue for a short space. So that's a very short space, because this is the king that's discussed in Daniel 9:24. This is the king that's discussed in Daniel 9:24. So this one is going to come and go within a year, because after that short space, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th and is of the 7th and goeth into perdition. Okay, so how do we know that's the same king? Here we go. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as of yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. And these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. And then if you go down further, it tells you, we'll go down further. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and Kings of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God has put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. Okay, so this is the last beast. It tells you up here, he is the 8th one. Okay, and the woman is the 6th beast, is the 6th king. I don't want to make this more complicated than it should be. Let me pause you so I can, no, I'm already done. I'm done now. I'll just say that Revelation is written in order for the most part. You can go straight through and read most of it. There's a couple of, sidebars here and there, like Revelation 10 and Revelation 12, but it goes straight through all the way to 16. And then when you get to Revelation 17, the angel comes and says, hey, I forgot to tell you what happens to the whore, how she's destroyed. And then it starts going backwards, recapping events that had happened previously. So 17 and 18 are where it recaps what happened. All right. So that should help with your understanding. But that's the interpretation of Daniel 9. Hold on. 24 through 27. I didn't do the abomination. Okay, we're going to stop it there. There's a couple of things I did forget, but that's okay. This is just supposed to be a quick study, just so that you can understand these verses. And if you have any questions, you can leave them down at the bottom. All right, thank you, and Yahweh bless.